Neighborhood BJJ podcaster Rafa Sparza coming to you live right now. Actually, super live. We're just doing a live chat with folks. We had a few things that we wanted to talk about. We put up some polls, we put up some fan interaction, and what is up, fighters? Rep Prez, good to see you. We basically put up a few questions to you guys throughout the week, and as a means of doing something new, we're going to be taking some of these audio recordings and we'll put them up as bonus episodes. So in the future, we're going to look to bring on other guests that we don't necessarily go live with or that we put up a little bit after the fact. So whatever you guys got for us, feel free to send us your questions, whether they be about boxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, you name it, we've got it covered. But we've got a few things that I did want to go ahead and chat with you guys about. Number one, you guys did have some opinions on what it was that you thought I should be watching first. We'll go into what that means in just a second, but we had put up a poll where we were saying, should I watch a BJJ Fanatics instructional from our good friend Andrew Wiltsey, or should I watch a BJJ instructional from our good friend Lachlan Giles? Turns out you guys had opinions, and I'm not sure that it went 100% like I thought it was going to go, but I found the results to be very interesting. We also just recorded the latest episode of Verbal Tap. That's going to be coming out probably later tonight or early tomorrow. We address few things in the UFC, including, but not limited to, this whole melee that's happening on March 5th. Everything that was supposed to go on March 5th, now happening in April. Deal with it, suckers. Plus, as you should be want to remind yourself, there is also going to be ADCC that is happening. So it's going to go in April. ADCC that first weekend. And then the following weekend, they're going to have a UFC that's going to be a banger. That's going to be the Volkanovski and the, I think it is the Korean Zombie. And then also you've got Peter Yan versus, Peter Yan. Headlining against, in a rematch, Aljamain Sterling, which should be interesting because we can finally get to the bottom of if he was acting or not, or if any of that matters. Do you think he was acting? I'll tell you this much. I don't know that I thought that hit was something that should be celebrated, and I could kind of agree from that point. And I could also agree from the coach's standpoint, which is maybe you should celebrate the fact that you did win something. That is pretty prominent. You got a title. Maybe it's not in the way you thought it was going to happen, but it was the way in which he carried on and dropped it and then was super dramatic that I just thought, yeah, I'm good here. I don't need any of this. I could do without this pomp and circumstance. So we've seen both of these gentlemen go back and forth for a little bit as of recently. I see a note here that says he was acting. Maybe. Don't know. I should point this out. If you are on Instagram, I can take your comments. If you are on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all of that other stuff, I unfortunately cannot put your comments on the stream. So we're actually going live in multiple places. But the good folks over from Fighters Rep, our good friend, George, is saying he was acting. I mean, I'll tell you this much. As somebody who does appreciate and love pro wrestling heels, I know when someone is playing it up. And I'm not going to disagree that he wasn't playing it up. It's the stuff, again, that was after the fact that I just couldn't help but think, what the fuck is this nonsense? Like, dude, you're dropping the belt. You're walking around. What's up, Megan? You're pretending like everything on your body hurts and aches to the point that you can't move like a regular human being. Like, that show stuff to me where he was just like, I can't believe, I'm in disbelief. Like, the closed eyes thing, that was so much. So, at the very least, hopefully we get a better fight that we all get to enjoy and love. What is up, Open Mat Physio? Open Mat Physio, tell me a little bit about you, because I feel like you should be the one doing these live chats. You should be the one telling us how to prolong our ability to roll, because I'll tell you this much. My body is dying. Megan, it's good to see you. It has been far too long. We're also ramping back up our Fighters companion series. We're going to be doing one for the next UFC. I believe that's UFC 270. And we will be doing that as of right now. knock on wood, all things considered, we're going to be joining our friends over at Strength and Mobility. And I cannot wait because Sven is a master coach, one of the nicest human beings in all of grappling and MMA. And honestly, one of the toughest rounds I ever have in jiu-jitsu. And he is just a gem of a human being. We're going to have him, a couple of his guys. I actually believe one of his guys is fighting on our good friend George's upcoming Fighters Rep card, which is happening in February. So keep a lookout for that. That will be very fun to see. I know the Strength and Mobility guys. If you ever get the chance, you're in, like, say, Canoga or in, like, the Woodland Hills area, go check them out. The gym is phenomenal. It's vet owned and operated. And don't be surprised if you see something fun coming out of that very soon, at least from the side where we get to say what fancy things that they are doing. So yes, if you are watching on any of these channels, feel free, throw us your questions, your comments, your concerns, your hints, your hopes, your allegations, all of that good stuff. We're just checking in on a beautiful Tuesday night, and I'm going to give you a couple updates. So we put up that poll, and the poll was basically asking you guys what you thought I should look up. And again, it was buzzsaw, passing versus guard retention. And the way I started thinking about this was one of my friends who I was rolling with, a very nice human being. He is trying to make the transition to training more in jiu-jitsu. And I saw him kind of struggling a little bit on a couple components. And he was wondering why I was sweeping him so much. And I said, I think it's not so much that you're not understanding certain concepts about jiu-jitsu or that you've forgotten certain things. It's just, I think we probably need to work on having a good guard. The hard part is, that's the coach side of me. The practitioner side was like, yo, I just want to pass motherfuckers right now. I'm really in that mood. So I was putting it to you guys. I said, should I be a better coach? Or should I be a better practitioner? Now, the smart person would probably say both. But, I mean, I don't know that I have the energy to do both. I think I have the energy to either be a decent coach or a halfway decent grappler myself. So, those were the thoughts. Those were the beliefs. Anyway, throw what you've got at me. Because this is a Q&A, whatever you've got, we'll be able to integrate throughout the show. But I want to give you the results of said poll, because what happens whenever we put up these polls is a little interesting. We get people who will DM me their votes. I don't want to say we will not accept DMs, but there is a good likelihood I may not count it, because sometimes I will forget, or sometimes I'll yell at you in the comment section if you are one of those people. So it does take me a little bit when I am tallying up the results of patience to sometimes go through those things and go, this motherfucker couldn't follow the simplest of directions. It's literally a poll. You push a button. You say one or the other. And somehow people sometimes mess that one up too. But yes, on January 9th, we put up a poll result. And I'm surprised to tell you this. What's up, Juz? Cuz? What's up, Jarrett? Welcome to the show, everybody. We had a result that was actually pretty good. And the results came back like this. Option 1 was Daisy Fresh's knee slice from Andrew Wiltsey. And option number 2 was the guard retention anthology through the legs and close range by our good friend Lachlan Giles. And the number 1 result with 58% of the vote, it was close, was actually Lachlan Giles. Now, I found that interesting. What's up, dichotomy of the Greece MMA, which, by the way, of all names to have as an MMA fighter, is a strange one. We'll get back to you in a second. I was a little surprised because I know that the majority of people they truly do love Andrew Wiltsey, and he was leading the initial votes. But to see Lachlan Giles, who I think has some of the best instructionals out there, I've seen a couple of them, and I found them to be fascinating, to see the vote go that way, I thought was really, really fascinating, because Wiltsey has been gaining a lot of ground, very popular with the people in the jiu-jitsu sphere right now. So it was interesting to see how that vote played out. And I guess because I'm a slave to however y'all vote, I guess that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be watching Lachlan Giles's guard retention series. Now, you do know what this means, as I was just alluding to a few seconds ago. This means I have to be a better coach than practitioner. Because the original point of this was to figure out, should I coach someone to do the right thing, or should I be a goon and just do something for myself? And you guys voted for me to be a better coach. So you definitely helped my friend in this one. So if he doesn't have good jiu-jitsu, I won't blame me. I'm going to blame the voters, because I think that's the most informed and smart thing to do. But yes, my good friend just showed up for a split second here. But Dichotomy of the Grease as an like an MMA name. This kid fights and he's quite good. But this is a name that anytime somebody asks me like, "Oh, do you know where you could follow him at?" I gotta tell everybody, yes, he fights and he has a very interesting name. Yeah, go follow him at the Dichotomy of, just don't. You don't have to. You don't have to follow that guy. What is up, Steven Rosales? Good to see you, sir. So I see you were running. That's a silly thing to do. Running is jiu-jitsu's enemy. It may give you more of a gas tank, but it's the worst. It says, what's good? Why not? Giga instead of zombie. Giga. Well, as what I saw, Dana White was saying he just needs to be patient, which I think is a terrible explanation, by the way. Hey, you just need to fucking wait your turn. Just be a little patient, no big deal. I have no problem with either of those folks. I think what's happening is maybe they're thinking for a different international market. I think they may figure the numbers will tank, so hopefully they can compensate for it internationally. It's not a terrible thing. And it says, why running so bad for jiu-jitsu? Tell me. Because it's the worst. You're trying to have cardio. The whole point of jiu-jitsu is to just do more jiu-jitsu to become better at jiu-jitsu. I'm not trying to run marathons. Get out of here with that. It's like somebody looking at you and going, hey, what are you working on this week? My cardio. Get out. Nobody asked for that. Okay. We talked about this on the show this week, and I'll preview it a little bit here. But on Verbal Tap, we were talking about the fact that all of these pay-per-views are now going to be $79 or $74.99. And the $74.99 price tag means that they've already had, I think it's now 2 or 3 rearrangements that they've had to figure out. So they're trying to give you the best bang for your buck, but they're nervous. I don't think they fully know exactly how all this is going to work out. The fact that on March, what was it, 12th or so, they were supposed to have a UFC, or March 5th, and it was supposed to be headlined by Volkanovski, Holloway, co-headline, Sterling, Yan, and then that just totally got screwed over. So what did they have to do? They had to insert Colby Covington and Jorge Masvidal, which means they probably had to pay them a good penny to get that in there. I think they're a little bit on their heels, especially as they announce. Now, granted, they don't give a fuck if they're asking you to pay another $5 per month. However, there is a little bit of a reality to it, which is if they're getting close to those boxing prices, and it's usually 13 or 12 pay-per-views a year, they might be a little bit afraid that they're not giving you the best deal possibly out that way. What's up, Grappling Monkey? I'd like to point out Grappling Monkey, I think, had the best t-shirt that I've seen all day. He was sporting a DuckTales t-shirt while training today. And I thought to myself, nobody is going to beat that apparel as they train today. But that's a good question. Thank you, Steven Rosales. The rest of you guys, feel free to ask me some questions. As I kind of reveal, we just noted that y'all actually voted in favor of Lachlan Giles's guard retention anthology, which there's a part 2 to this. Now, that was the only downside of of this particular poll, which was there's a part one and a part two. And I think to myself, listen, Lachlan, I don't know what you think money I'm rolling in here. Some of us are not like the DuckTales shirt here, like Grappling Monkey wears, where we can just swim in a bank full of coins. Putting out two parts, just put it all in one. Talk a little less concept, and just put it all in there. You break these things up into part one, two. This is not the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame. This is not Harry Potter, where you just take one property and split it into two for a cash grab. Get out of here. We're jiu-jitsu people. We don't have money. Stop that. Part one, part two on an instruction. You know damn well how much we need to cover in this goddamn thing. It's frustrating. But yes, that's going to be on my agenda the next few weeks. As I was mentioning a little bit earlier, good friends, Strength Mobility, down here in the comments section, we will be doing our next fight companion for UFC 270 out of his place. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The last one we did over at Milton's gym, over at Mama Academy, was also very fun. And then previously before that, the return of the fight companions that took place over at Michael Frosto's gym, New Ground Jiu-Jitsu. So we have started our return very well. So it says, yay, so excited. We'll have the fight team there. That's great. And one of the things that I'm very much looking forward to doing at Sven's gym is we're going to rotate some of the guys in there to feature them so that you get to know some of the guys on their fight team, what makes them unique and special as we watch the fights. And of course, we'll be drinking. One thing that I did find very interesting was for that March 5th card, Milton had actually volunteered his gym, and that was going to be the Volkanovski, Holloway, Sterling, and Yan card. And he is on the middle of a 75-day challenge in which he cannot drink. And I said, bro, you do know that we drink. You know, we cheers those fighters that get finishes. I'm not worried about everybody else, but what about you? And he goes, oh, everybody else can drink. It'll be fine. Don't worry about me. And I thought, you say that now, but eek. So doesn't look like that's happening anyway, but we'll see if we still end up doing that. What's up, Christian? At his place. I still imagine we'll do something, if not that fight card there, another one in the future. But they definitely were a lot of fun to do that fight companion out of. So yeah, throw your questions at me, you guys. I'm going to be on here for just a little bit, but I want to kind of interact with our fans. We're looking to do new content. I guess I'll ask you guys this. I'll put a question to you. What kind of content would you like to see that is new and different from us, your pals, over at Verbal Tap or Grappling Hour? I think what we're trying to do now is we are ramping up the exclusive content that we're going to be doing on our audio side. So while these are now experiences that you get to see, you see my face, we also release this, if you miss it for any reason, as an audio version on our YouTube page. We release it as an audio side on our Spotify and on our Apple Podcast page. And if it's not too much to, ask, we'd love it if you guys would follow and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you'd be so kind, we'd take a rating and a review, because it may not seem like much, but it really does help. It actually puts us a little bit higher than all those other lousy jiu-jitsu and MMA shows that we all know. They're okay. They're just not as good. Let's just say that. They don't do as much as we do. I think we could say that much. But yeah, so that's what we're looking to do over the next few months. So if there's something in particular that you'd like to see, we're going to be doing some special episodes. I have a few ideas in mind of things that we do, maybe with some guests that you've seen in the past and some that you haven't. So we're playing with a few ideas, but I'd love to hear your thoughts and your feelings on some of those segments, or maybe even some suggestions, because I think that one of the best things that we do on the show is we are very audience friendly. And not only do we play around with our audience, we joke around with our audience, but you guys are pretty committed. You guys show up pretty consistently to these things. And we appreciate that. It means a lot. So I'll take your your thoughts and your feelings in terms of what we could be doing or like what you'd like to see coming up in the future. Because again, we're probably going to start visiting some folks, doing some more in-person interviews and all that sort of stuff. So I'll tell you two things that happened this week. Number one, while training this week over at our good friends Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy, we did start noticing that there were a few transitions that we're going to do for WWE BJJ week. Yeah, we're doing another one of those this year. So I would say if you are one of the folks who likes that segment or that thing, we would highly encourage you to start working on your storylines, your finishing moves, your fun, your nonsense, because that is coming up again, and we will have a prize for the winner this year again. And I see over here, Jason Got Caught is joining us. Thank you, Jason, for joining us. I don't know what you got caught doing. I hope it wasn't serious. Are you on the run? Because I feel like that's a bad name to have. At least it's a screen name. If you did get caught, I guess maybe the charges were minimal. Hard to say. But welcome to the show. So yes, that is what is coming up next. WWE BJJ Week will be, I think we'll be collecting submissions mid-March because, and here's a conundrum I just discovered this week. WWE BJJ Week is the same week as ADCC. So, at least for trials, it's going to be a very, very tough time for us here on the show. Jason got caught in a submission. No, Jason, but which submission? We got to get that. What can we help you with here? We can workshop a submission to help you get out of it. Is there one in particular we can give you some notes on? I'm notorious for, having pretty good defense here. I would love to lend my my acumen, my knowledge, my know-how to making sure you become Jason didn't get caught, or as they tell me, you could get your own name put on after you. Sorry, I get people who call my form of defense Raf Guard, so I don't want you to become a disciple of Raf Guard. I think it's too stupid to refer to something as like it's my creation. I want you to come up with your own version of jiu-jitsu that works for you. When people were like, "Yo, we're gonna teach some concepts of Raf Guard," I was like, it does not sound right. It says everyone always because I suck at grappling. Okay, Jason. Okay, I don't believe you. Nobody sucks more at grappling than I do. So what can we help you with? Give us one example of something we can help you or we could steer you in the right direction. Because listen here, Jason. I feel like we've got a lot of people here who know good things and can tell you and lead you to the promised land, just letting you know. So feel free, use the folks here who have the knowledge and the know-how. It says, just me, Jenny B. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate y'all. And I think that's the hard part is if you say you get caught at every submission, it's kind of like, well, we can pick one and help you get better at getting out of that one. But there it is. Whoop. So anyways, folks, we are noticing that y'all are even acknowledged on the UFCs that's coming up. So that's going to be over at Strength and Mobility. That's this month. Then next month, we have another UFC Fight Companion. We're going to figure out where we're going to do that one probably within the next couple weeks or so. And then I think we've got another Fight Companion that we're doing. But in the meantime, our good friends over from Strength and Mobility, they have at least one fighter, if not more, fighting on George Francis's Fighters Rep card. So go see that in February. And then before you know it, guys, we're already essentially at ADCC trials, which are going to be taking place in Vegas. And that is going to be epic. So those are the big events that are coming up within the next few months that are just off the top of my head. Plus, we have Who's Number One that's happening next week. I'm not sure we're doing a fight companion, but we'll consider it. We'll see. And it says number one, yes, sir, Robert Castro. Yes, absolutely. Love it. Robert Castro is a monster. Dude, hard worker, strong AF, and he fights very well. So I'm very excited to see that man return back to a ring because I've seen him fight in cages. I've seen him fight in a number of different places, and just a wonderful human being, one might say. So there is definitely that. But yeah, we've got a few things that I think are lined up and coming y'all's ways. So feel free to let us know what we can expect and what you guys would like to see in there. Appreciate that. And if you guys are watching on YouTube or on, I think, Twitch, Twitter, all that sort of stuff, my apologies on the sound quality. I am just noticing now that we didn't actually have the Rodecaster Pro, so you're probably hearing some kind of garbage version of audio, which is why we have the two mics here. So, womp womp. We definitely tried to create two different experiences because we're trying to figure out how we streamline one sound mixer to do two different sound qualities for both the Instagram Live and for the other channels that we use. We're going to workshop that. Something to write down and jot down in the notes. All right. Throw me questions, throw me notes, throw me feelings, comments, concerns, all of that good stuff. I will take it. I will answer it for you. And then I think we'll be pretty much on our way for the day. Just to let you know, this week, I think we're putting up the Giancarlo episode of Grappling Hour. Giancarlo is one of the individuals who received an entry. He won the bid to go into the next ADCC. So very much looking forward to seeing that gentleman compete there, but we get to know a little bit more about him, his story, what makes him unique, what makes him not just go into jiu-jitsu and practice it, but what is driving him to move all the way over to join the folks over in Tejas. He's going to be training with Danaher down that way. What's up, Laurel Fitz? Good to see you. So yeah, Giancarlo, very interesting interview. And then I think next week we will be airing the episode that we recorded with Mason Fowler, another individual who advanced for another opportunity, another time of going to ADCC. And we wanted to space these ones out. Giancarlo, he's got a really good interview that we did back in November, but we're just releasing it now because we've been wanting to stagger our interviews. But more so for Mason. Giancarlo is in Bodini? Yes, him. We wanted to stagger the interview especially for Mason Fowler because Mason Fowler had the nerve to qualify for ADCC like a month after he was on the season premiere of Grappling Hour. So this motherfucker qualifies, and then we have to throw him an invite to come back on the show. And I told him, I'm like, bro, I can't keep interviewing you. Like, could you have won the West Coast trials? And it says Bodini's out of New Wave Jiu-Jitsu with Danaher. He is now, he is making the move. So he was training for a long time on the East Coast. That's why you saw him in, I think, so many of those BJJ Fanatics. He was training, I think it was with Bernardo for a bit. And he was teaching out of those classes out that way. But he kind of gives this rationale and why he's moving out to Texas. So, I mean, I think you could probably figure out why. But he gives us a really cool interview and insight as to, you know, his thought process. And one of the things I was really impressed with how he describes his jiu-jitsu. If you guys look at the interviews that we've done, because we've had just about every single person who's qualified for trials. The only person that we have to get still, the only Pokemon that is missing and deficient is just Cade Rutolo, and we will get him. Because the Rotolo brothers owe me an interview, so we will be seeing them very soon. What's up, Jiu-Jitsu memes? By the way, this is an endorsement. I don't do those sorts of things. But I would tell you, if you are looking for funny memes, go to Jiu-Jitsu memes. However, thank you. It's very sweet of you to say that I'm the GOAT. I'm about to shit on you, though. Jiu-Jitsu memes took a photo op with Nicky Rod. Now, I understand you do feel the need to flex your muscles like you're a 5-year-old child when you're in the presence of Nicky Rod. Totally understandable. Happens to the best of people. What I do not appreciate is the fact that you are jacked as a meme maker, a jiu-jitsu meme lord, if you would, because you make the rest of us have to be more jacked. It's not happening for me. That ship, it has sailed, my friend. So I am not going to get more jacked. I am going to maintain. That is what happens when you get older. You literally say, yeah, I'm acceptable with this body. I will keep this body for as long as possible. So when I see you looking jacked and I look at the rest of us yokels, I mean, look at Tony, who does happy rolling BJJ. Look at Drew. Love Drew because Jitsu, one of my dearest friends. You know, he's not jacked. No. So there's no flexing, only Shaka signs from now on. Yes, exactly. Jason got caught. You understand the process here. So jiu-jitsu memes for the culture, take it down a notch. Okay? It's just too much. We're not going to get in better shape. In fact, I argue the more in shape we get, the less funnier we are. Think about that. Might have to post this. Post all you want, kid. This is all for you to go ahead and take. I just want you to know it's not that I hate you. I am telling you this because you have to hear it from somebody that you do love and appreciate in the same way that I love and appreciate you. So I am doing it because someone has to lay down that law and speak to you realistically, while other meme makers and page people, they're not going to say shit to you, but they're going to see you with your, you know, you're small, so your abs, you only do like what, 5 sit-ups and then you're fucking jacked. You do your 5 sit-ups and then you got abs. That doesn't work for the rest of us. It says, oh, I do get personal training for a living. Gotta set an example. I didn't know you did that. I'm short, bro. I need something to be noticed. No, don't listen, dude. This is not therapy, man. I'm not qualified to tell you what it is. Yeah, I know. I filled in the notice. I know when people try to say one thing and maybe miss articles on some of the things they write. I'm short, bro. I need something to be noticed. I know, dude. Listen, kid. That was who you were. You were a personal trainer. I don't know your business. I don't know if you still are. But when you meme, you gotta leave that behind. Little hint from somebody who's done comedy on stage. The prettier you look, the more people go, who the fuck is this guy? Think about some of your favorite comedians. Did they look really, really cut? They look really jacked? Comedic actors sometimes get away with it, but then sometimes they get put in fucking Moneyball, and then you get Chris Pratt who's got to do not just sit-ups, but go into wrestling rooms and sweat that shit out because he's got to be fucking Star-Lord in 2 months. It says, if you don't work out, just dye your hair pink or something. Yeah. I like that we're giving this kid the worst advice in the world. You know what, kid? Dye your hair. Go see a movie. Take a walk. The Rock. You think The Rock is a meme maker? The Rock and the 45 people who work on his social media team do their best to come up with stuff on a daily basis. The closest person you could probably come up to on being funny and jacked is Ryan Reynolds. But Ryan Reynolds will probably be the first person to tell you the 45 personal trainers that he hires to make it. It says, how old are you calling me kid? I can probably be your dad. How old are you? Also, I just put up something about this week. I was literally watching the movie Tick, Tick, Boom with Andrew Garfield. I'm watching this. I look at my wife. I go, look at this kid. This kid's great. I get to talking about this on Twitter. One of my good friends says, you do know he's 38. As in Andrew Garfield is 38. I am 39. And I said, yeah, dude, I call literally everybody born after 1952 kid. Doesn't mean much to me. Don't give a fuck. It's fair game. My friend who knows me goes, that's true. You really do that. So yeah, how old are you? You know my age. I am 39. I guarantee you. And added bonus, if you are older than me, how dare you look better than me at that age? So take that. See? It's a no-win situation for you, kid. We've had a few of my friends talk about the differences between calling someone, hey kid, hey buddy, like that nice little parallel lines that you have to walk between upsetting people and trying to placate them. It's a very fun line to play, but that's right up my alley for jokes. No one looks better than you. Well, come on. Get out of here. Listen, dude, I got to be the broadcaster, so I have to look a certain way. Plus, man, whew. I saw some people who were posting up, old interviews with me, because I've been doing this for a while. And I saw one of these old interviews, and I go, oh my God. It is cataloged how old I'll be in that. I have to try and stay as young as possible. And one of my homies goes, yo, you look exactly the same. I was like, perfect. And the agreement I came to with that troll under that bridge is working. So appreciate that. That is very nice of you to say. I just like to tell people I'm timeless. All right, kids. Throw your comments, concerns, questions, hints, allegations, all of your stuff at me. What do you got? I am an open book, and it says, oh no, optimistically cynical says, I left my kid strapped to a baby changing table for 2 hours. I don't know that that's the kid we were talking about. I think someone might need to call somebody about you. But thank you, optimistically cynical. Jits meme says, I'm a super nice guy. I believe that. You actually, in your live videos or your Instagram stories that you put up, you seem like a nice kid. I do like you. ADCC predictions. Pain. Well, a few things. Number one, looking at people like Keith Krikorian, Cody Steele, William Tackett, who have not punched their ticket to ADCC, makes me worried for their divisions. How are Craig's chances to win gold? How are Craig Jones's chances to win gold? I wonder if Craig is just cursed to take silver. I think at this point we all agree he's really good at jiu-jitsu, and he clowns people in a way that most practitioners will never be able to clown other people. What makes this difficult to try and figure out for any other reason is the fact that Craig Jones is really enjoying this ability to market himself as a number two. So I don't know if it's within his best interest to become somebody who's going to be better. Dude, if he ends up, though, think about this. If Craig Jones ends up winning, would he be able to call himself the leader of a team that should be called B team. I hope JT Torres is going to punch his ticket. I want to see who can beat him. Well, I'll tell you what I want. I want JT Torres and Gary Tonin to stop being a semifinal. I want Mo to get his shit together and stop putting that in a semifinal. That is a final. And it's happened twice. And both those guys are awesome. I love both of them. I would love to see them hash it out. But every time I've seen, well, the 2 times, but the 2 times in a row that I've seen it happen in a semifinal, it's crushing because I just think to myself, like, these are guys who arguably best all-time GOATs, amazing jiu-jitsu practitioners. It says Tony can beat him. I see a Laurel Fitz saying, go Gary. Absolutely. It's hard because I think they are very well matched. But because we are friends with both of them and because we do respect both of them, the reason why I like saying they make a final is that the least we get the ability to say, look at that, that's a final match. That is a finals caliber match because there is so much unpredictability in terms of how the match will go. Maybe points won't even be scored, but like Tasmanian Devils, they'll go all around the mat. Mama Bear says he can. I mean, absolutely. You have a very favorable audience here, I should say. Jason got caught. But at the very least, as somebody who is friends with both of them, I would love to see them just have a final match. And then whatever happens at that point, it just happens. Oh, Sella Merritt, look at this kid. Ugh. I have a whole bit that I do about this, and I'm going to come back to your question. Jason got caught. But let me go ahead and say a few words about this trader over here that we've got in our comment section. This kid found his way back across the pond from where he really says he's from these days. He just got his black belt. And he is an incredible practitioner. He's one of our favorite people to roll with. I haven't rolled with him in ages, but all I've done in that meantime is watch him have super fights, get exponentially better at jiu-jitsu, and it is heartwarming to see him get a long overdue black belt. So that's about as many nice things as I'll say about this goofball. Anyway, congratulations. You really deserve it, dude. Very happy for you. And it says, interesting to see if Nicky Rod meets Gordon. Yes. I don't know how that goes in terms of being better for Nicky Rod. I think Gordon he's a still hard premium to beat. That's a difficult task. And, I think Nicky Rod has learned a lot, especially under the tutelage of some amazing jiu-jitsu grapplers and practitioners. It's just a hard one. His biggest thing is if he were to upset Gordon on the wrestling side, but Gordon has enough intel to know what to do to put Nicky Rod away, in my opinion. I think the interesting dilemma that he could have is if Gordon felt challenged enough to deviate from some of the tactics that he knew, would easily beat Nicky Rod to prove a point or to sell another DVD instructional. It says Gordon's sitting to guard, no doubt. Yeah, but I mean, if Gordon wants to put up one of those posts that says, I invented standing up from the guard in ADCC and no one will ever outbeat the way that I out-wrestled Nicky Rod 14 seconds to 13. Now, it could be something that he wants to do, and it would be fascinating to hear Danaher's post about it. It's a tough pull. It says, thanks for the kind words, Raph. I appreciate you finding something nice to say this time. I did put on your post, congratulations, trader, or about time, trader, or something along those lines. So, I'm not inconsistent, but you do deserve it. I just see you more with the Williams brothers over in the UK side more than I ever do. Like, if there is a US versus squads with them across the pond, I wouldn't be surprised if I see you on their team. I'm just going to say it. I think that it would have a high probability. It's a coin flip to see if you'd be on our side or their side. Because they'd probably say something like in their Cockney accents, they'd be like, oh, we train him. He's one of us. We got him. No big deal. He's one of us now. He grapples with us. It's a terrible accent, but it's so hard because sometimes they say things and I'm like, I didn't understand a word that they said. Jason Got Caught chimes in and says, it's interesting considering that some of their heat was speculated based on Gordon moving up a weight class. Don't know. The weirdest part of this whole thing is that we have direct lines to some of these guys, and I just could care less why they broke up. I think that for an interview perspective, it is important to ask those questions, but I think they've kind of alluded to the fact in some ways that they broke up due to kind of growing out of each other. And that does happen. That's not unnatural. It's not unnatural for some camps or people to break up at any given time. So I get it. But I don't know. It feels weird. And I've heard people speculate as to what it is. And it's hard, especially when you have a show, because you don't want to say something that you are uttering into fact. But it'll be more interesting to see what comes as a result of their breakup at this next ADCC. Because you just put something out here that I think is very interesting, which is prediction Cole Abate is the breakout star. And Megan is right there with you in saying, I agree, Cole Abate is very talented. He is. Let me say this to you. What's up, Grappling Science? How do you see Cole? No, it's not going to happen because Nikki Ryan is moving up a weight class. I just remembered that. Yeah, that whole weight class is going to be wacky. Yeah, okay. I mean, there's going to be stuff to talk about on that. We're actually going to be putting, it says, I think we'll see about the 2.0. He's talented, but I suspect he will look even better, probably. And now that he's grappling with new purpose and a new goal set, I think you're right. I would say this, though. I would say that for Cole, he has the right leaders and guides to help him get to not just a competitive standpoint, but to become what he wants. He did an interview with us, and he says, he wants to do those same goals that the Mendes brothers did when they were young. So I think you're right on that side. It says, I think we'll see. It says Tenny and Dalba. Yep, I see that. But yeah, I mean, I think the world of that kid too. He's very talented. Mendes bros. Yep. Yeah, I don't know, man. I will tell you this. The one thing that I did want to mention that I don't think I did is that with Cole, he's only like 17 or so? Yeah, I think he just celebrated his 17th, 18th birthday. And I think to myself, if you take where your body is at that age, and you take how quickly you recover, how much you can put as strain on your body, and you already have that much tactical skill to begin with as a foundation, it is terrifying to think where that will go. You're right, it is 17. He told me that in the interview. Because he had won as a 16-year-old, and then 2 weeks later, or just a few days later, he celebrated his 17th birthday. Kid's going to be a monster, man. And good for him. He's got a good attitude. I liked when we chat that he was very honest about his upcoming and all of that sort of good jazz. I think he's got a lot to offer. So I'm very excited to see what he will be bringing to the table. But see, that's the thing. You were saying that he's going to be the breakout star. I think he's just more so the one to look out for. I think the ADCC trials the performance that we saw out of that kid was already the breakout performance. I think from here on out, it's now expected. And I think it's hard to replicate that. What's up, Ricky? Could be wrong. Could be some other things that we get surprised by. Somebody could surprise him. But he was just, he was a wrecking ball at that tournament, man. Really impressed by him. And it says, agree, he's established enough at this point. Good point. But, you know, I mean, like, when you talk about breakout stars, I think like Lachlan. I think like Craig Jones. I think like these people who use that tournament to elevate who they were or who we thought they were. And it says that Irish kid in the Euro trials. I'm glad that that was the phraseology that you used for them. You know, that one Irish kid. And the other one. What's his fuck face? And also Haircut McGee. He did pretty good too. So, yeah. I'd love to be known as like, yo, that one Mexican host that like glasses. You know who I'm talking about. What's up, Tappa Jappa? Forgot his name. It's Celtic. Nah, I got you, bro. It's not that big of a deal. I would say the ADCC trials are probably the biggest thing that we're going to see that brings us all together. The Who's Numbers 1 things will keep us kind of entertained. But, like, I'm intrigued to find out where Submission Underground is supposed to end up. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was looking at my calendar. I was like, I don't know what I'm making this off. A Mexican host. Yeah. Thank you. I always tell people, I'm like, nah, just, there aren't too many brown hosts who do this. I gotta be that one. That's how you know he's a potential breakout star. We don't even know his proper name. Yeah, that's true. It is interesting to see how it all play together because we all are in this space of seeing how people have dealt with pandemic training. We've seen some people who have been very consistent on the competitive circuit, but maybe who didn't get the results that you thought that they would have, or that most people thought they would have. I also wonder if something as simple as going to Vegas is an easier travel destination than getting out to Cali. All that sort of stuff. Like, all those things kind of weigh out to me. And then I think I saw that it was BJJ World that was putting up that they're hoping to sell out. They're encouraging people like, hey, let's get together, let's rally, let's sell this place out at 19,000. That would be great. Would be very cool to see. Don't know the reality of it, but it would definitely be a new mark for the sport. And I mean, as it stands, the sales for ADCC have already boded very well for what could be the future of professional grappling as we know it and see it. So, yeah, there's a lot of shit that I think we all have to brace for. And yeah, so I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting ADCC. It's kind of interesting already just thinking about how it's going to happen in September and how much of the year has already flown by. But getting to interview the people that we've gotten to talk to who have qualified already. I think if you look, we have a playlist with all the ADCC folks who have qualified so far from America. If you look at the interviews with each of those people, I make it a point to ask them about their matches because I like hearing their perspective. So for some of you, I know it may not necessarily be your jam, but I really like to get into the tell me about this match, tell me about that match, because I think so many other shows gloss over that. And there are some things that I notice that I want to specifically ask them, and sometimes they answer it, sometimes they don't. But I like to try and get them to give me their interpretation first and then ask clarifying questions regarding it. But if you watch that playlist, and this extends even to the previous ADCC qualifiers that I've talked to, if you watch their line of thinking and how they break down their matches, you start to understand how it is that they all have had the success that they've had. So I would highly recommend that you go check those interviews out because to me, if I were an aspiring athlete and ADCC was my goal, I would be watching those interviews to understand what kind of mental capacity you have to have. Like, it tells me if I'm a chess player and I only think 3 moves ahead, listen to the way that they do it and draw that same comparison and see how many moves that they're playing ahead. And then, even if it's like 1 to 2 months away from their match, listen to the way that they break down the matches when they haven't even seen it. It is super fascinating. What is up, best? You never had. Good to see you. But I make it a point to try and do those specific types of interviews because I see so many people miss the boat on how they do their interviews with these athletes. And it is frustrating. But I do appreciate how much I learn from something that I've already seen. So, like, the context that they bring to it usually gives me a better understanding. And I would not ever say that I'm in their realm of jiu-jitsu comprehension or prowess, but when I go back to think about it, it does deepen my understanding. So I hope that because it does it for me, it can do it for other people in terms of what they see from that. But definitely very interesting stuff. So the ones that we already have up right now, to my knowledge, I believe John Hansen, Cole. We've also got Brianna St. Marie, Kendall, upcoming ones, Giancarlo and Mason Fowlers. Those will be going up. And then I also talked with a good friend of the show, Ash Williams, about his qualifying. And I got to tell you this. Taza's on the interview scale. We just got to nail down a time. What sucks about trying to round up the guys right around the holidays is that you'll send him a note and be like, Taza, you qualified. We need to do an interview. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to live forever. Woo. Then they forget. You go, no. But when are we interviewing? Taza? God damn it, he forgot. So he's receptive to it. We just got to nail down a time. So that means I probably have to pester them or yell at them a little bit, which I can do. I'm not afraid to do. But, yeah. All right, I got time for like 1, 2 more questions before I call it a night and get back to, I probably should eat something because I have really not eaten anything tonight. But I'm going to eat something and probably start working on the social media and other stuff for all of the pages that we run here. So Verbal Tap, got to get the promo stuff ready, but I got 2 more questions if you guys got them for me. So let me know. Otherwise, I get to call it a night and go eat something. And don't feel bad for me because I eat all the time. So, what do you got? Oh, and as a nice reminder, if you guys haven't given us a like and subscribe, go check us on out at Grappling Hour, all the major properties. Like I said, this is one of the fun things that we do as a live chat or a Q&A, but we're going to be doing more stuff like this, and we're going to tailor it to your experience. So if there are certain types of interviews or segments or things that you like, we will be happy and receptive to look into some of those things. Did you see the Suzanne Summers submission at the last Fight to Win? No, I didn't, but I think I heard or saw a clip of it somewhere. It's like, I can't even remember if I named it. I don't know that I named it. Let's put it that way. I may have said the phraseology. What kind of brown are you? I'm Mexican. Lots of brown. Thank you for asking. No, I know. I've got you. I'll tell you this because you're amicable to this sort of a thing. But I had somebody just this week who put up a response to one of my memes, and they said, "Yo, I hate to tell you this, but you can tell that nobody loves you because I'm gonna say it because I got no friends. but you got a typo in this. And I go, okay. I was like, bro, I've had that meme up now for 12 hours. I don't care. I've got a pretty good record of not having a ton of typos. And if you do this for so long, it might ruin your day for about point 0.5. But I was like, yo, these motherfuckers who shared it are just as bad as me, if not worse. Because that's usually the first sign that you fucked up something is when it doesn't get shared and you go, oh, did this just not hit? And then later on you go read it and you go, oh, I misspelled this whole thing. Shit. I have so many typos. It happens, man. I do say this. For a while I saw some meme makers attack people for being grammar Nazis. It's on you. Like, I don't blame anybody else. I don't get mad at people for pointing it out. I just kind of go, damn me, I'm an idiot. But it comes with the territory, dude. We live in a volume business. It's gonna happen. And it says, it looked like the guy got crucifixed, but the other guy stood up happy. I didn't see what happened until the replay. Yeah, that shit's hectic, man. I always tell people, like, the best submissions that you will get are always the ones that you look at and you go, oh, look at that buggy choke. Like, look at that. Oh, that should be hurting this person. But then it, like, has a nice little surprise to it. Look at this. Doreen McLean. Jit's mom here. Nice haircut. Thank you so much. That means a lot. I've gotten some nice compliments on the hair. And you know what? I didn't even put anything in it today. So this is kind of like garbage good hair today. I appreciate that. Try to keep things on the good side. Because sometimes when this thing gets a little out of whack, it's a little hard to look at. My wife, during the holidays, because we're spending so much time watching TV and hanging out with each other, you just said Mexican hair. I do have a very Mexican haircut, thank you. But my wife, during the holidays, she looks at me and she just goes, so when are you getting a haircut? Which is wife code for get a fucking haircut. And I did. We Mexicans have amazing hair. Yes, it is one of our distinguishing traits. I like that. just only Mexicans. The rest of you, nah, womp womp. Yeah. I feel very happy about some of the hairstyling choices. And here's the thing. My head is a very unique size and shape. So there's only a couple of haircuts that'll work for it. Fortunately, the one I got, I'm okay with. I can rock this for a bit. All right, closing it up. Last questions. Ask now or forever hold your peace. Or until the next one that we do of these, which probably will be pretty soon. I think we're going to try and do one of these weekly. And I don't know what time works best for you guys. You can chime in. Does now work better for you? Or does like a lunch hour one? I almost did one at lunch this week. But I had other stuff that I was doing. But not opposed to doing that. I kind of want to give you guys something to do when you're at work so you can pretend to work. Or those of you who work at home and are working remotely and just want a calm and soothing voice to walk you through your day, to say nice things to you, affirmations. Hey, your half guard's not that bad. Hey, you pass on both sides equally as well. Or, who's got the best defense in all of jiu-jitsu? You do. I think we actually lost viewers on that. Did we lose viewers on me saying that shit? Whoops. All right. Well, I think that's a good sign. All right. Last question, and then we call it a day. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to start to sign off. I'm going to remind you guys, add us, like, subscribe, at Grappling Hour. What you said, I don't know. All those good things, you can find us at Grappling Hour, Instagram, Periscope. Oh, it's dead now. It's not there. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that sort of stuff. I thought it was funny, Raph. I did too. I think what happens is sometimes you say the words, I think we're about to end here, and people go, well, fuck you then. Bye. Which I understand. People have places to be. As a reminder, new Verbal Tap coming out tomorrow or tonight. Look for it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your nonsense. And then later this week, I think it'll either be tomorrow or on Thursday, you'll see Giancarlo Bodini, and you'll get to hear how he won ADCC. Then next week, you'll see Mason Fowler. And who knows, maybe some other surprises. But if you haven't checked that out, go check out our stuff on our YouTube page. We have so many interviews there. Cannot even shake a stick at it. That's not even a good phrase. But I guess what I'm saying to you guys is much love and appreciation to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Rafa Sparza. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.